Everybody, Caleb from thebookflipper.com here, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We've been talking about FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon, for a long, long time, and as booksellers, you know where I stand on the topic. It's great to sell items, get that prime bump, have Amazon do all the fulfillment for you. That allows you to free up your lifestyle. I'm all about freedom and spending time on the road and sourcing and not having to deal with shipping books from your home. Well, surprise, Amazon changed up some things. Many of you have seen it on the forums this week. But Amazon, due to the coronavirus, is shutting down non-essential items from going into FBA. So they're allowing groceries, household items, medical supplies, etc., baby products, things in those categories to go in. But as of St. Patty's Day, thank you, Amazon. Amazon has put the ban hammer down and said no more books, no more media items coming in FBA until at least April 5th. My hunch is it'll be a little bit longer than that. Only time will tell. Again, this is a very fluid situation. So this is day 2, at least for me. This is St. Patty's Day, and we're going to be recording just a small series of videos here to kind of piece together what do we do now. So as FBA sellers, the main piece of our business is books, and it's on Amazon, and that is very much at risk. At least we can't fill or feed the beast, like we like to say. We can't fill the top of the funnel with more books. So what are we to do? Well, if you're in a great spot financially, if you have a lot of cash already in, if you have a lot of inventory in, you can focus on repricing your existing inventory, try and squeeze some more cash out, keep cash flow coming in, kind of go on sale a little bit, although there will be less supply, so you may be able to kind of keep prices strong, maybe even raise them a little bit. But you can try and reprice inventory as best as you can. You can sit back and try and improve your workflow, your setup, clean your warehouse, clean your house. There's a lot of things you can do just to kind of tidy up and get your business in a more healthy spot for when you're able to list again. A couple other options you have. You can list merchant fulfilled and then convert over to FBA later. So you can list merchant fulfilled, put it on vacation mode, and then convert those later. I don't know how much time that will actually save you, especially as prices change. But in this video, we're going to actually walk you through how to list items merchant fulfilled. This is how I started my business several years ago out of my house in Indiana. At the time, it was the first house that my wife and I were in. And we had a whole separate book room. As many of you are booksellers, you understand how books tend to flow into different areas of your house, eventually taking over as much space as you will give it, including, but not limited to, bathrooms, garages, basements, attics, you name it. Books have a way of expanding in this business. And that's how we got our start. I have not merchant fulfilled a book in a very, very long time. And so we're going to kind of walk back through this process together. This is a good practice run. The market's always changing. If you're in business, things are always changing. This is a big major downer. I hope all of you out there are safe, stay healthy, and we'll weather this storm together and come out the other side stronger and ready to go and hit the ground running whenever that may be, whether that's a couple weeks or a couple months from now. But in the meantime, we're going to teach you, and we're going to relearn ourselves along the way, how to do some merchant fulfilled. So without further ado, I've got my screen pulled up here, and I want to teach you the process of how to learn, because these rates change, things change, and we'll always try and get your back with Scout IQ so that you can source a little more effectively. However, it's important to understand the method behind the madness. So we're going to walk you through how to set up some triggers. Again, the defaults in Scout IQ are set up for FBA. I've got the media mail rates pulled up here, and these will probably vary a little bit. I think Amazon charges us, or at least they used to a couple years ago. We get some discounts for like tracking information, but I think we pay a little premium to run the postage through Amazon, but then they handle the tracking info, and there's a lot of other benefits from there. So we've got this set up. What we're going to do with these rates is what I wanted to walk you through was the weight fee is basically there's a fixed rate, and it's roughly, I think it's 280 minus 53 cents. So it's 227 is your base rate, and every pound it goes up, starting from, if it weighed nothing, it's going to add 53 cents. So from 280 to 333 is 53 cents, 386, 53, 53, 53, and so on. At some point it does extend to 54, but most books are going to be in kind of this sweet spot. So remember those rates. I'll just leave those up. We're going to go build some merchant fulfilled triggers. So a couple nice things. One, we're going to come into Scout IQ, into the web portal. You've got your team for those of you that want to have people scout for you. Unfortunately, most of our consignment vendors are schools and libraries, and they are all shut down right now due to the coronavirus. And so they're not sourcing, so we've got to deal with what we already have. Side note for FBA, if you did finish a shipment before March 17 and didn't ship it in, they will still accept it. So if you did happen to list some things and had them floating around your house, get those in. That'll help a little bit with some cash flow in the near term. We're going to add a new trigger set, and we're going to call this Merchant Fulfilled. So we're going to say, I could call it Coronavirus. We're just going to call it Merchant Fulfilled Triggers. Fulfillment, we're going to do MF for Merchant Fulfilled. Our buy cost, I always set mine to 0. You can do what you want, but I like to keep it at 0 and do some mental math. Here's where that numbers come into play. We're going to do the 227 for the fixed cost, and the merchant fulfilled per pound is going to be 53 cents. We do 0.53. We're going to save the triggers, save the whales, save the environment, but mostly just save the triggers. You can, of course, change this as needed, and I think Amazon is going to charge us slightly different rates, so we'll come back to this later. What we're going to do is we're going to add some book triggers here. We can restore these to the main default, and I think I'm going to do that actually. So we're going to overwrite the triggers. This may default us back to FBA, but hang on. What we're going to do is all of the rules for eScore and sales rank we want to leave alone. We don't want to touch that. Those kind of dictate how fast or how quickly the book is likely to sell, and though there's a lot of research that goes into it, we're going to leave those alone. However, all right, so we're all set. These are the basic triggers. So we're not going to touch eScore and rank ranges. We're going to leave that alone. What we are going to change is all of these FBA slots. We don't care about FBA offers anymore. They're dead to us. We can only list merchant fulfilled. So all of the FBA offers, we're going to set them to skip. The used slots, we're going to set probably to the first or second or third used slot. We're not going to try and price much higher than that. Comparing to the buy box, no, and then we'll leave the percent off Amazon and probably our target profit as well. Especially more so, you're going to be a little handling the book, maybe the same as FBA. You just have to deal with storage on your own in between. So what we're really going to do is change these slots to skip. We're not looking at FBA. It doesn't matter what the rank is. FBA is not our friend in this case. That is somebody else's game and not ours. So we're going to set all these to skip. And again, I'm going to leave the eScore ranges and rank ranges alone. There's a lot of science and logic and art and chemistry and biochemistry and lots of great things that went into setting up these ranges. So we're going to leave those alone. Compared to the buy box, we're going to set that to no on all of these as well. Then the last thing that remains, and the only things I would change if I were you once we adjust these, would be what used slot do we want to look at. So 1 through 15, essentially 1 through 5, 10, 15, and then what's our target profit going to be. If you already have the book, you might want to set this a little bit lower. Let's say $1, maybe we'll leave that at $1 as well, maybe $1.50. Basically, the more often it's likely to sell, the higher the profit I need, or the less profit I need, the less likely it is to sell. So as eScore goes down, as it's not selling very often, we want to raise that profit just because it's probably going to be sitting for some time. So we're going to raise these up just a sketch. It's a mathematical term. I don't know, 750, and we'll leave that all alone. I guess since we don't have to pay storage fees, we'll lower those just a bit. And then instead of the used slot, looking at the highest one, we're actually probably going to look at the second highest when the eScore is really good, when it's selling a lot. And we're probably going to set the rest of these to the lowest price. And again, you can adjust these to fit your own criteria. Most often, these lowest prices are bunched up anyway, so it doesn't matter if you're looking at 1 versus 2 versus 3. If it's a good book, if there's meat on the bone, then it's not really going to matter. So now we've got our trigger sets, we've got the fees that are calculated in, and what we're going to do is simply save this trigger set. I'm going to go in and assign or pick this trigger set when we come to the app, and I'm going to take you out into our barn or our lab, as we call it. We've got a pile of books sitting out there. We were all set up for FBA, getting ready to list those into a pallet, and now we can't. So we can either sit or we can go skim through them, try and find some books that will sell well merchant fulfilled, and we can go learn something. So come on out. If you're still watching, come on out to the lab. We'll run out there. We'll walk you through how to scan with these new triggers, how to list, and then of course, hopefully, we get a few sales and we'll ship these out. So come check out, follow us along as we do this, and by all means, put this into practice in your business. We'll catch you out in the lab. All right, welcome to the lab. It is Colorado in a little bit of the late winter, early spring, so it's a bit chilly. If you see our breath, that's what's going on here. We've got a pile of books set up. These were going to be listed FBA, as I mentioned. However, we're going to go through some of them and show you how to set that up. So first off, look in the corner, either here or here, wherever Matthew decides to throw it. We're going to show you the screen. We're going to open Scout IQ, and those triggers that we just built on the computer are now magically going to be there in the app, courtesy of our friends at the cloud. So we're going to click on triggers, and I already had set it up here, but we've got the MF triggers. You can see them here or up wherever they're thrown. We've got those triggers set up, so those are now selected. I am going to go to live only just because we already have these books. I want to make sure that we have just up to the current data, so you will see just a little bit of a lag when we scan the books. So the other setup I've got just a cheap USB scanner. You don't have to worry about battery power. Sometimes the barcode scanners, you can lose them. I like just having a cheap one when I'm at home, not in a competitive sale. This would look really silly if I was out at a sale with this, but this is way less likely to ever miss digits. It does a great job, and it's super fast. And it's also probably 15, 20 bucks on Amazon. It's just a regular USB which plugs into your computer. However, you can get these adapters. Some of them come with a hard body like this. Some have a little bit of an extension. You can grab a 2-pack on Amazon, usually for $4 or $5. What this does is converts USB. In this case, I've got a Pixel phone to USB-C. They make them for Apple. They make them for USB or micro, mini, etc. So you can plug that in. The scanner is now accurate, and I can simply scan books with the barcode scanner. Again, if you went to a library sale like this, you'd look a little ridiculous. But here at home, it doesn't matter so much, and it's just nice to not have to worry about charging equipment. So come on over here. We're going to go scan a few books. We'll show you exactly what we're looking at here and give you a feel of if you should sell it merchant fulfilled or not. So again, get a little bit closer. When you're looking at FBA, you're typically keying in on the buy box. With merchant fulfilled, we're ignoring prime offers. We're ignoring the buy box. And again, we're going to look at what we can get here. So I'm going to scan some books. Again, you should be able to see up in the corner, leave a little bit of room. You can see that this is a good e-score, 151 plus. And what we're doing is we're looking at the second lowest merchant fulfilled price, just like we set up in our triggers. So if we sold this for $7.99 right now, after all the expenses, assuming we already bought it, which we did, so I got a buy cost of 0. After Amazon's fees and those shipping costs, so $2.27, and then the 53 cents a pound times 2 pounds, we got $3.33 to ship it. We'll see if that's accurate. It's going to be real ballpark. Our profit will be $1.66. So you can trust that up in the corner. It'll show you merchant fulfilled there as well. Our friends at Sell Back Your Book will pay you 12 cents for the book. This is a good candidate for us to list. It'll probably sell quickly. You'll note that when it comes to merchant fulfilled, there's a lot of books you could sell merchant fulfilled that you can't sell prime. If you're willing to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel, sell some books that you can make 50 cents to $1. Maybe there's no profit FBA after the additional fees. So for some of you, again, as you learn this skill set and use it for the next couple of weeks or months until Amazon releases the ability to send FBA shipments, there might be some books that you kind of set up a merchant fulfilled corner at home, whether it's for fast moving items like this one, or whether it's for higher priced long tail material. Again, this is a skill set that won't just serve you well during the current time of need, it might serve you well into the future. So we'll set that one aside, and then we've got a bunch set down here that we're going to merchant fulfill. Let's just go scan a few more just to show you what we're looking at. Here's a book. It's going to say reject. I think our minimum profit with an e-score of 12 was somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 or $3. However, it's not a big deal. I'll probably wait for that one because the prime bump is so large. I will probably wait and come back and list that FBA later. So what I'm really looking for is some hot, fast-moving stuff that we can sell and make just a couple bucks. Here's one we'll make $2.37 after fees. That's a great candidate. I don't mind getting paid $2 to throw it in an envelope and ship it out. Sell Back Your Book would give me $1 today. You can see that. That's another option that you can turn in. They've rented some real estate. Our friends over there, Bill and his cohorts in crime. Not crime, business. They're legitimate business people. They've got a nice little setup on our app, and they've integrated that. So if you do want to sell it back, they are still up and running, even though Jeff Bezos said, we don't want your books. Bill, in his way that he does, says, shovel me some books. So if you do want to sell some books that way, or check out BookScouter or some other options as well, that's a good way for you to kind of monetize some of your books, even if you can't make money on Amazon. So let's scan just a few more books. Again, I know I look a little ridiculous here. Again, there's not much of a prime bump between $12.74 and $14.98, so that's fine. I'm happy making $5. So we'll go ahead and put that in our pile as well. Or if I wanted to send it to Sell Back Your Book, they would pay $2.85. I could simply tap this button here to add it to my Sell Back Your Book cart. Just a few more, just so you get the hang of it. Here's a book where we would lose money merchant fulfilled. FBA has about a $5 bump. Apologize for all these notifications. So that's going to be a book we're going to look at for FBA later. Let's find just a few more merchant fulfilled candidates. Here's a $1.15, a decent e-score, not a huge prime bump. That's not a bad option as well. And let's just get just a few more. There we would lose money. That's one where you could make money FBA, but no money merchant fulfilled. And that's a good option for you. Here's 57 cents. That's not enough to justify it for me. Here's a $15 book. It doesn't sell that often. I'd rather wait for the prime bump. See if we can find one or two more here. Here there is a decent prime bump again from 10 to 18, and so I am going to wait on that one. Here's a good one, but again, it's got a pretty healthy prime bump. Not enough meat on the bone. Merchant fulfilled. There's $1.50, and Amazon is kind of what we're running into as our ceiling. So that's another good candidate. I've got a pile of books down here. We're going to walk them back over. I'll get my computer back up, and we're going to show you exactly how to list these merchant fulfilled. Before we list them, I shrunk just a little bit. My camera operator got up just for artistic effect. She's way high above me right now. So I've got a couple books, and this is really popular actually in popular fiction where there's not much of a prime bump between the lowest FBA offer and the lowest merchant fulfilled offer. The reason is there's so much demand, so many people are buying this book that the prices are basically the same. They're going to stay just a little bit under typically where Amazon's price is because people willing to save some money and buy used will do that. So let me show you again. We'll pop it up here or here or here or somewhere. There'll be a screen that you can look at and follow along. But I'm going to scan just a few of these books and show you that the merchant fulfilled price $8.86. The FBA offer $9.99, probably not enough of a prime bump really to justify FBA. Again, I'm biased FBA because I value lifestyle, I value freedom, and so I'm only looking at FBA. If you do have the ability and the luxury to branch out, I think learning this skill set is going to serve you quite well over the next months and years. Here's again, 11.15 used, lowest merchant fulfilled, 11.15 FBA. In that case, because there is no prime bump, you're actually going to make a little more money if you go merchant fulfilled, just because of the fees that kick in. Here's 12.73 merchant fulfilled. It does go to 17 FBA. So if you could send FBA, this is a great book that you'd actually want to sit on and wait. But because of the times, desperate times call for desperate measures, we're going to go merchant fulfilled. Here's $9 merchant fulfilled, 11 prime. That's probably enough to justify the FBA. Here they're roughly the same, 13 and just under 14. As well as here, these are all great e-scores. They're selling all the time. This is 15.64 merchant fulfilled, 15.65 prime. So a penny bump. Again, that's not going to justify sending FBA. You could make money either way. In this case, we'll profit over $7. Sell Back Your Book would pay $3.50, so you can get about half of that. I'm going to opt for merchant fulfilled. All right, enough of me yabbering. Let's go list a couple. All right, it's listing time. I'm going to have AccelerList up here. We're going to go inside the computer. Yes, we're going to crawl inside the laptop. Sorry, dad jokes. We're going to throw it up somewhere around here. You can see the screen and kind of see what we're doing. But we're going to start a new batch in AccelerList. We're going to do merchant fulfilled, and we're going to create our own poor man's or creative coronavirus man ticketing system. So we're going to make our own SKUs. What we're going to do is we're going to embed this number. We actually added one too many zeros. I apologize. But we're going to do 007. So this is the James Bond of SKUs. Again, dad joke. Sorry, not sorry. We're going to throw these in the books. This is how we're going to find them on your shelves. So if you're serious about merchant fulfilled, check out some of David Chung's content. He just had a great Instagram video up, I believe, today. So by the time you watch this, it'll be yesterday or sometime in the past. And he walks you through kind of how to set up a SKU system using aisles and bays and rows and shelf numbers and whatever. It's the address to find the book. What we're going to do is go out, buy yourself a roll of raffle tickets. You can get it at Walmart, Target, go on Amazon and find a kit. What you're going to do is a raffle tickets, they're perforated, they're little tickets, roughly this size, and they already come pre-printed with a number, and it's a sequential number. So once you start at 5006, the next one is 5007, 5008.
They're usually 5 or 6 digits, so you don't have to worry about repeating. When you list in AccelerList, or if you want to go directly through Seller Central, when it comes time to put the SKU, simply type that 5 or 6 or 4 or 3-digit number, enter that in, and then we're going to tuck it in. You can see we've got a few books listed just to prove how this works, and you can easily see the numbers poking out through the top of the book. As books sell, you can kind of close the gaps, move stuff over, and then work your way from top to bottom, left to right, find a nice ordered system. Otherwise, when a book sells, you're going to be going, where is Malcolm Gladwell's Blink book, for example? So instead of trying to find those, which is fine if there's 50, but not so fine when there's 50,000. And hopefully after watching this video, you're ready to scale up that large. So without further yapping, let's jump in. We're going to go, I've got AccelerList pulled up. We're going to create a batch. We're going to call this, we already did the lab test. We call this barn is our lab. So we're going to go to lab tests 2. We're going to use custom SKUs. Shipping from Denver. Channel is going to be merchant fulfilled. And then we're using the Roth template, which just means free shipping for merchant fulfilled. Workflow is going to be private. That's our only option here. And I'm going to make sure over on the right we've got the pricing and grading options turned on. And then notes, we are going to pretty much just set these in used, good condition. They're pretty much library books, at least the first 3. So with AccelerList, you can actually set up your preset condition notes. You can, of course, change it on the fly, but we're actually just going to click the X library condition note and make these really, really easy to list. So that's it for the setup work. I've got the same barcode scanner. Again, it's nice not to have to worry about Bluetooth. Simply scan these in. What we're going to do, again, we don't care about the FBA offers over on the right. I do want to see if Amazon's on it. It's going to be the one with the Amazon icon. That's the new prime price. You can also see that up here in the corner where it says new buy box. So we want to stay under 17, and we're going to price usually at the lowest merchant fulfilled. If the book is selling a lot, we can kind of use eScore, or AccelerList has their own metric here. It's selling 52 copies a quarter, according to, I believe, Keepa. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to pick usually the lowest price. You can see after fees we'd make $357. You can see how that breaks down as well. And then it's already got our condition note. The SKU number, we're going to make sure it starts at 7. And I believe we have to change that up in here as well. So we're going to go to batch. We're going to start at 007. And we've got the buy cost actually set for 0. So that's all set up now. Our SKU is 7. We're going to then use that, tuck that inside again with our poor man's batch, or poor man's ticketing system. Literally just tuck it in, make sure it's nice and tight in the edge so it's not going to fall out. You got the 007 kind of poking up through the top. But again, we know roughly where we're at in relation to the rest of the books. That book is listed. Okay, we're going to go and scan just a few more books and show you how to list those. Again, using our poor man's ticketing system, PMTS. I should patent that, trademark it. We're going to list with a new SKU. This is a book we've listed in the past. Again, typically want to match the lowest used offer, kind of glance, see if Amazon's on it. They're not. The lowest new offers start at 59 bucks. So we can kind of price this where we want. It is selling a lot of copies. If I'm willing to wait, I could probably get an extra quarter, and that might be worth waiting. So we'll go ahead and do that. Again, these are former library books, so my condition is done. The SKU number here that you can see is 8, which will match our ticketing system, our PMTS, poor man's ticketing system. Tuck that in, again, make sure it's nice and tight, make sure it's sticking up so you can see it. And we're done listing that book. Let's do one more. Hopefully our internet hangs on for us. And again, we've already got 6 of those listed. I've got another couple here. We'll list a stack and hopefully get our first sale overnight. It's one more benefit of doing merchant fulfilled is you don't have to send them into Amazon, lug lots of boxes to the post office, or pay for a UPS or FedEx pickup. They simply can be selling sometimes the same day you list them, which for those of you doing FBA is a nice, pleasant surprise. So here again, there's not much of a gap to be had. We're just going to match the lowest offer, maybe the second lowest, let the lowest guy sell out, or gal. Former library copy, yep, SKU number 9. So we're going to go ahead and add that to batch. Let me do just 2 more, and then we'll close out this batch just for purposes of the video. Now these are not library books, so we're still going to list them in good. I tend to do good or very good, typically good or acceptable. Again, as a rule, you probably should be looking through the book just to make sure there's nothing crazy. Sometimes you might find some cash. But in this case, we're going to match the lowest merchant fulfilled offer, although Amazon is on this, for just a penny more. So we're actually going to cut down just a little bit more. The rank is good, under 100,000, looks like 86,000. So we're actually going to price this, I don't know, $7.49 seems about right. See if somebody is willing to save 50 cents and buy a used copy. If not, we can lower that a little bit further. Again, because it's not former library copy, I'm going to take just a quick gander. I don't see any markings, so we're going to say good, unmarked. And because we're not doing Prime, I got to take worldwide shipping is available. So you will need to probably tweak some of your settings. This is something new for all of us. We're going to add this to batch. This is book number 10. And last but not least, why start at an even number 10? We'll go to one more at 11. So you can see the workflow is pretty good. It is important to keep everything kind of lined up neatly as best as you possibly can. And then you do want to get some shelves and line them up like this, or possibly on their spines, and then just keep working your way left to right, top to bottom. Or if you're left-handed and want to go right to left, bottom to top, just for whatever reason, that's cool as well. Again, here we can wait a little bit, let the sale come to us, maybe even go at $9.18. Amazon is on it for about $13, so there's still some room there. And again, this is not a former library book. Gonna glance through it, make sure that the customer's happy, everything looks good. So we're gonna say good, unmarked, and again, take away worldwide shipping, because I do not want to ship media mail to anywhere else right now, frankly. So we're gonna go book 11. That's it. Now, one more step in AccelerList. We're gonna have to close the shipment, so we're just gonna say submit feed and complete batch. And this process can take a little bit. It's gonna bulk upload all of this information to Amazon. I'm gonna leave my poor man's ticketing system alone. We'll come back to it for some more books. And once that gets submitted, I think we are having internet issues. I will submit this. What's gonna happen is it'll just spin for a little bit. It'll come back and tell you when it's completed, and then you'll be able to actually pull up, there it goes. Again, our internet is a little bit glitchy. So it's gonna say processing. It may take just a couple minutes. Once it's done, you can pull up Seller Central. Here's the books I've listed before. You can see the SKU here, 001. That means it's the first SKU, 002. Some of them will go a little out of order. If you do wanna put that SKU portion at the beginning of your SKU, it'll always be the first thing you see. But again, your eyes can be trained to easily spot that SKU. And when these sell, I'll show you how to determine where that is, how to go pick the order. And at this point, it's late, I'm getting tired, I can't talk coherently anymore. We're gonna go inside where it's a bit warmer. Hopefully, these books will sell overnight without us having to ship them to a fulfillment center. And we'll come at you in the morning with a fresh cup of coffee and hopefully walk through selling a few books. Catch you in the AM. Welcome to the future. It is now tomorrow/today. Got my cup of coffee. We actually sold 2 orders this morning, so 2 out of 11, not too bad, and hopefully we'll get a few more orders trickling in. So now the fun part, we get to drink our coffee. Very tasty. Reezy has a great coffee game, so check him out. He puts my espresso game to shame. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and show you in Seller Central how to pay for the shipping through Seller Central. Some of the tools I've got here. You don't need this. This is a Dymo 4XL. It's got the big 4x6 labels. You can print directly onto those and then slap it onto an envelope. It's a game changer. We did not have that for several years. We just printed them out on regular paper. You can get the free UPS labels. It's kind of a side-by-side. Technically, you're using these with USPS, so for those of you that don't feel right doing it, don't do that. But that's another option as well. Or you can just print it on a piece of paper and tape the label to the envelope. I've got these poly mailers. You can get some bubble wrap ones as well. These ones I feel like they hold up a little better. The bubble wrap mailers, like the yellow ones that you see, we used to get those when we first did Merchant Fulfilled. We got the huge ones so we could fit a textbook inside of it. And then smaller books like these, we would actually cut the label in half, tape it shut, and again, very poor man's version, but it did the job. I feel like the bubble ones that had the like manila paper outside actually became fragile and kind of would burst at the seams a little bit, versus these kind of hold up fairly well even as they go through the journey of the mail. So we'll have some links down below where you can get these. You can get these in all different sizes. These are great for the smaller books, and of course if you're doing textbooks or larger ones, you'll want to get a bigger envelope. And then I've got a scale as well, and we'll see what Amazon charges us for USPS fees, and then readjust. We'll use that as a feedback loop and go back in and change the Scout IQ triggers for Merchant Fulfilled if needed. So we'll go ahead, jump in. We'll show the screen up here so you can see what we're doing. As you can see, we've got 2 different orders, and you'll notice right in the SKU, we've got 009. So we know 1's over here, 11's over here, 009. Sure enough, Contraband, a Stuart Woods novel, there it is. Make sure you pull this back out. We're going to throw that away. We're not going to reuse SKUs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to simply come over here and say buy shipping. And let's walk through the process here. A couple notes about Merchant Fulfilled. One of the nice parts of this is you can put a little printed out sheet or handwritten note that says thank you. Make sure you read up on Amazon's terms of service. They're always changing. You can ask for feedback or ask for reviews. You may not ask for positive reviews. You can't even use manipulative language. So you can't say, hey, I'm a real small business. Please help this puts food on the table for my family. Please help me out, leave a review. That's considered manipulative or trying to engage in positive feedback, asking or requests. So just make sure you read up. Those rules are somewhat changing. Make sure you follow those. But a handwritten note that says thanks isn't going to hurt one bit. We're going to simply throw it in the envelope. Not a whole lot of science here. And I usually wait just in case I screw something up with the label, so I won't quite seal this just yet. I'm going to weigh this. Get that going. And it came in at 1.3 pounds. With medium mail, it's just going to round up, so it's the same as if it was 2 pounds essentially. So packaging, we're just going to say none. You have to put the parcel dimensions here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to say it's probably 9 by 7 by 1. You can get a ruler out if you'd like. And then weight was 1 pound, 3 ounces. So it's going to round up to 2. What it's going to give us then is a couple options. I'm not going to do bound printed matter. I think you have to do pre-sorting with that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to opt for media mail. So that's going to be $3.33. It comes with delivery confirmation built in, and then I'm not going to bother with insurance for declared value. We're going to leave that alone. So $3.33. I think what we had said was $2.27 plus 53 cents for 1 pound, which got us to $2.80 plus 53 cents, which gets us to $3.33. Hey, look at that. They're giving us the same rates as media mail with the post office. So we can leave the triggers alone. We're going to buy shipping. This is nice. It's going to take it right out of your Amazon account. We can save this as a PDF, or we're actually going to just format it for the 4XL. You can see it's already kind of set up. Go ahead and say print, cross our fingers, and would you look at that. So no ink needed. Literally as simple as that. That's our label. We're simply going to slap this on the envelope. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll seal it, and we'll do one more. So the process is very, very simple. I know if you're not doing Merchant Fulfilled often, it can be intimidating, but that's it. Then we're going to grab this. It's kind of a pre-sticky as well. And if you can, we don't want a lot of empty space, so we're going to kind of fold this over, close it up, and there is one envelope ready to go. So that's one. Let's go do the second one. The other part, because we bought that through Amazon, they're going to upload the tracking number. Our work is literally done. It's a couple of clicks, and off we go. So we're going to go to the next book here. You can see the SKU again, 004. You can simply find that in our poor man's ticketing system. Pull the ticket out, add your insert with a thank you note if you want to. Click on buy shipping. While that's loading, grab an envelope. And again, the envelopes come in various shapes and sizes. The more you buy, typically the more you save. But you can get these for, I don't remember what we paid for them. I think it's a penny or 3 each. It's not really going to break the bank. So we're going to put that in there like so. Again, I just like to leave it open just in case we mess something up. We're going to come in here. This is 1 pound, 2 ounces. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to leave the dimensions. I guess it says we have to add them. Again, we're just going to kind of guess. 9 by 7 by 1. You could pull those off Amazon or just get a ruler out here as well. And then 1 pound, 2 ounce. It's going to be the same $3.33, I'm pretty sure. We're going to do media mail. Again, if someone out there is doing bound printed matter and you don't have to pre-sort those, let me know. That's something you can certainly do as well. We're going to go ahead and buy shipping. Now, if you want to buy through the post office, you can't buy media mail online. You can buy it through PayPal. They call it multi-order shipping. It's going to be, I believe, the same rate as this, so that won't really save you. Plus, you have to copy paste that tracking number back to Amazon, which, again, you can do. One trick I do want to tell you, and this is if you want to get free USPS pickups. So with media mail, you can't schedule a pickup. The post office won't come and get it. If it can fit in your mailbox, your carrier will probably take it. They're not really supposed to, but they're usually pretty nice about it. You can give them a little Starbucks gift card or something under, I think, $50, just to be nice to them if you'd like. However, you can do one of these. So if you have a whole bin and you don't want to take it to the post office and deal with that, you can actually do one package that's priority mail. So if you're already doing eBay and any of your packages are USPS priority, you can schedule a free pickup, and while they're here, they will pick up the rest of it as well. Again, be nice, be courteous, try and help them load the packages. They're doing you a favor, but again, that's one nice part about the post office. So we'll buy the shipping again. It'll pop it up for us. We can go ahead, it's already set up for the 4XL label printer. Straighten that out. Grab our label, just like so, slap it on, close up the envelope, and that's it. So as you can see, it's really not a hard process. The trick becomes, how do you set up an efficient system for storing your envelopes, your supplies, your envelopes, and more importantly, your books. We're gonna drop those at the post office, and again, you can use the after hours mail bins. You can just slide those right in, they fit pretty well. So that's it. That's the shipping option for Merchant Fulfilled. Hopefully it's not too complexing for you or too complex. If you'd like, take some photos of your own operation, upload those, swing by our Facebook group and share how you're kind of keeping your business going even in the midst of this FBA shutdown. That's FBA. You can learn more about me at thebookflipper.com, on Instagram at thebookflipper, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace. At thebookflipper.com. Check us out on Facebook, The Book Flipper Community, Instagram at The Book Flipper. And that's all for now. We hope you enjoyed this video on how to do Merchant Fulfilled. Talk to you soon.